Right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing that I want to talk about is Peter Schiff lost all his Bitcoin. I want to talk about this a little bit more in detail than some of the news articles are saying. If you don't know who Peter Schiff is, well, some people gave him Bitcoin because he's an economist, a radio personality, stockbroker kind of guy. And of course, everybody wanted him to get into Bitcoin and think how awesome it is, but he never really thought it was very awesome. The other day, he had lost all his Bitcoin. So Gold Bug Peter Schiff claimed on Twitter that he lost access to his Bitcoin wallet and that the password is no longer valid. Schiff added that his Bitcoin is now intrinsically worthless and has no market value. He also added that I knew owning Bitcoin was a bad idea. I just never realized that it was this bad. So getting to the bottom of the issue, after Peter Schiff tweeted about his loss, the crypto community was quick to jump to the rescue. For example, Pompliano responded by asking if he forgot his password, to which Schiff has responded that my wallet forgot my password. So Pompliano asked, asked to email him directly. The software just executes the commands that humans give it. It can't forget anything. Email me and I'll try to help you recover that lost Bitcoin. However, it looks like the Bitcoin may be indeed lost for good, as Schiff responded. Eric Voorhees set up the wallet for me, and even he thinks there is nothing I can do, but you're welcome to try if you have any ideas. So Schiff is known for being an outspoken critic of cryptocurrencies. Just before the new year, he claimed that unlike every other asset class, Bitcoin was not rising toward the end of the calendar year. In late November, Schiff claimed in a Twitter debate that the price of Bitcoin would drop to 1,000 to complete the pattern, which it did not. So he didn't lose that much. I read somewhere that he really only lost a few $1,000s in Bitcoin, and that that Eric Voorhees had originally given him something like $50 in Bitcoin just to set up a wallet on his phone. And then when people learned that Peter Schiff now had Bitcoin, people sent him upwards of a few thousand over the course of a while. So he didn't really lose that much. But here's the tweet. So I want to go to this article because this one says that Vitalik Buterin comes to Peter Schiff's defense in the midst of Walletgate, which I actually agree with Vitalik. A lot of people are attacking Peter Schiff and, over this, which it makes sense, okay? Because Peter Schiff lost his Bitcoin. He didn't write down his private key or his phrase or anything like that, write down his password. And that's what we need to do with just about everything in this world. The thing is, with a lot of other things, is that, let's say I forget my bank password. I can call my bank and they can be like, they can verify my information, verify my identity, and then say, oh, here's your password, or we have reset your password so that you can reset it. And that's basically the case with everything. Email, websites, logins here, there, wherever. Passwords can always be reset, but with Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies, it cannot, which I have to agree with Vitalik Buterin's later comment. So anyway, he said, I just lost all my Bitcoin I've ever owned. My wallet got corrupted somehow, and my password is no longer valid. So now not only is my Bitcoin intrinsically worthless, it has no market value either. I never realized it was this bad. Peter Schiff showing his password required. So translation from Pompliano says, you forgot your password, ? Same thing happens to your email if you're irresponsible and forget your password, Peter. But again, I have to come to the defense here a little bit of cryptocurrency itself and say that, well, if you forget your password in cryptocurrency, you just don't get it. It's gone. It's just totally gone. You lose your private key, lose your phrase, it is gone forever. There's nobody that can help you with it, and that's a good thing. And then again, that's a bad thing. CZ from Binance says, oh man, this is wrong on so many levels. I'm not even sure a centralized exchange can help him secure his coins. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but maybe stay in fiat, ? From CZ Binance. Eric Voorhees says, here's what happened. After a debate in 2018, we went to dinner. Peter had never used Bitcoin before. I helped him set up a wallet on his phone, Edge or BRD, doesn't really know. I told him to secure it if he ever had held significant value on it. Gave him $50. He forgot password and never recorded his phrase. He emailed me about a day ago about it, and I wasn't going to embarrass him on the interwebs, but then he posted this. If I gave him an ounce of gold and he dropped it on the sidewalk, would he similarly condemn the precious metal as a foolish monetary system? Meanwhile, in Schiff insists that he did not forget his password, and he surprisingly appears shocked by the crypto community's reaction to his original tweet. So much fake news about how I forgot my wallet password. Can't hashtag Bitcoin pumpers be honest about anything? Wait. Confused. I was very clear that I didn't forget my password. Maybe you did. My wallet no longer recognizes my correct password. So what's up with over 3K people liking that I lost my Bitcoin? Well, that's just what people do on Twitter. Welcome to Twitter, Peter Schiff. Okay, boomer. Even like if you post something terrible, the southern portion of Australia is completely on fire and 1 billion animals have died. A terrible tragedy. And there's going to be a lot of likes on it. Not because people like the fact that Australia is on fire, but because they're kind of supportive of the tweet. So that's how that works, Peter Schiff. Let me just tell you that first of all, even though you'll never watch this video. But yes, wallets do not forget your password. Also, there's a phrase. Usually you get a phrase. It's like 13 separate, separate words that you're supposed to write down along with a password, maybe a private key as well, depending on what wallet you're setting up. Every wallet is different. Some of them have like 12 or a dozen plus, individual words that you have to write down and then put in order. So yeah, nothing has ever just forgotten your password. That's like saying like, I logged on to Twitter today and Twitter forgot my password. No, unless you were hacked or something directly. No, Twitter did not forget your password. It's not clear at this point what wallet app Schiff was using, if he indeed is just misremembering his password, or even if the whole circus, which should perhaps be called Walletgate, is just masterful marketing ploy by Schiff in order to persuade people to drop Bitcoin in favor of gold. There is naturally very little sympathy for Schiff, a man who has constantly been attacking Bitcoin over the past few years, and now he ironically loses his password and phrase or private key, etc., to his wallet. Good for you, Peter Schiff. However, Vitalik comes along, says, disappointed at people replying to this with crypto is what it is. It's your job to be super careful and write down backup seeds in 3 places. We can and we should do better to keep wallet tech to make the security easier. So I think we can afford to be forgiving of a few people who are really upset because they just lost a huge pile of money. So I agree. I have to agree with Vitalik, and I have to also somewhat disagree. You should always be writing down your passwords in safe places, backup seeds. Of course you should. That's the way it currently operates. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The way that crypto currently operates is that you have to be in control of your keys, your passwords, your phrases, period. Nobody else. Again, unless you take CZ's advice and go onto a centralized exchange. Now, however, I agree with the latter part that there should be better wallet tech to make security easier. Now, how are you going to do that? Verify identity in some way, which will sort of lose decentralization. How are you going to record these? How are you going to put these somewhere centralized, all of these passwords, and then not have them be hacked at some point? That's why we have all these hacks, Twitter's and YouTube's being hacked and then put on live streams of crypto conferences, and scams like that, because these, passwords are all centralized somewhere, somehow. So it really, you really lose security that way. But at the same time, crypto will never be particularly friendly to a lot of people who can forget passwords and things like that. Now, I think as the generations and generations go on, more and more people are going to be getting into crypto because as people are born in, they know how to, like you see 5-year-olds walking around with tablets and whatnot, with cell phones, playing games on them. So like when I was 5 years old, I had to wait till Saturday at 4:00 in the morning to watch cartoons, of all things. So the world is changing a lot. And I'm a little bit sick. I'm very stuffy, so not being able to talk too good. So anyway, so many hardcore crypto OGs advocate storing your own keys, but the truth is today most people are not able to secure a key even from themselves losing it. Trusted centralized exchange is safer. Good job, CZ. I like that one, though. For most people, the numbers speak for themselves. Hey, CZ, you got to give it to CZ. The numbers do speak for themselves. Centralized exchange. I can't necessarily say everybody should just take all their crypto from their private wallets from their offline wallets and put it on Binance or something like that. But it just goes to show that, honestly, I'd say more people probably lose crypto by losing their passwords or something like that. And I think statistically probably has. I mean, millions of Bitcoin have probably been lost over the years. And I guess you could argue that about exchanges too. Mt. Gox and things like that, people lost a lot of crypto there too. So depends on how you want to take a look at that one. But Bitcoin hash rate is at an all-time high. It's crucial leading up to the halvening. So we reached 126 quintillion hashes per second leading up to the halvening. Now, I don't want to read this whole article, but basically when the rewards halve to 6.25 and with the hash rate this far as a miner, you need to be pretty sure that those prices are going to rise upwards. So it seems like more and more people getting confident, as you can see over time, more and more confidence, getting higher and higher and higher, plugging in more and more and more, waiting for that halvening to come along in May. And again, I think that the halvening, of course, is going to bring a lot of FOMO, more articles, more Reddits, more forum posts. Halvening. And then, of course, the FOMO is going to kick in, and then maybe the price will drop from there. So this article I found just mind-boggling. What could XRP price be if courts decide it's a commodity? So right now it's kind of a security, and Ethereum at one point was by the CFTC appointed to the status of commodity. And so this article is trying to say that, of course, wild predictions call XRP to break above 500 if XRP is to be considered a commodity and not a security. Well, Ethereum was considered a commodity, and the CFTC ruled that it was a commodity, not a security, and it really didn't go through the roof from that news, so I'm not sure why XRP would either. Some proponents of Ripple's case see XRP explode to an extraordinary price of $589 if it's assigned commodity status, although no supporting evidence has been provided to back up the crazy prediction. So I like this one, Jack the Rippler. Oh man, dude, Ripple people are so cringy. Ripple people, I think Ripple people and TikTok people are basically the same, in my opinion. You got YouTubers who literally have hundreds upon hundreds of videos of XRP, just XRP every single day. You could scroll down for 2 minutes straight to get to the bottom of their videos, to get to their first video or their oldest videos or whatever. And it's just XRP every single video. And they do it for the views, 15,000, 20,000 views per video. Of course, they're making a lot of money. If you get 15,000, 20,000 views every day in the crypto world with crypto ads, etc. like that, I mean, that's gonna be a good $1,500, $2,000 a month in revenue. So why not? It's gonna pay all your rent, maybe all your bills or something like that, depending on where you live. Hey, great, extra money. So of course they're going to do it. But there is no extra news to talk about. It's just like every day. It's just some random new price. XRP to $100, XRP to $1,000, XRP to $589. Why $589? Totally, right? Totally. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. So how did you get XRP going to $589 from that video? Comex rule $589 and I trust a bear. Yeah, totally. I mean, absolutely. So, this is just the XRP craze is just amazing. The amount of botnets behind XRP, all with 0 followers, following nobody on Twitter, just posting hashtag XRP over and over and over. But I really like this article here. It's just a Reddit post, and somebody posted XRP is basically dead, right? Question mark. So continuing diminishing activity since 2018, a price that has never seemed to recover, and even the subreddit dedicated to it is depressing. Kind of feels like the low activity is the last few beats before a flat tire, or before a flat line. For those preaching about up and taken business models, I was talking from a purely speculative standpoint. It's lost all of the volatility. Vendors can adopt all they want, but it's not being bought. It's basically a dusty feature. And so it's a real fun article. I'm sure you guys are a little fun post just in the cryptocurrency. It's a real good time listening to everybody bicker back and forth, of course, over Ripple. But everybody's XRP is not decentralized. XRP is decentralized. XRP is not blah blah blah. And I like this one person's post here. It's controlled by a single entity. It was pre-mined. Most XRP is held by the owners and founders. True, and true. So this person clearly with this XRP blasted logo, his response to it's controlled by a single entity. Prove it. I await your sources and evidence. You have none because it isn't. What do you mean? It was made by Ripple, though. It was What do you mean? Like they produce it. They're the ones that created it and control. What do you mean? It's control. I mean, it is controlled by a single entity. They're the ones that are sort of responsible. Ripple is the ones that are responsible for going around from bank to institution to country to institutions, etc., to convince the banks to use this, or to convince financial institutions to use XRP. Because without Ripple, who would be going around convincing these institutions in these very legal financial matters, in international law, etc., to set up this? So what do you mean? I mean, what do you mean prove it? It's a really weird response. It was pre-mined. So was Bitcoin. Satoshi mined Bitcoin alone for 6 days. Oh my God, no, 6 days. Whew. Not 6 days. First of all, nobody actually knows that. Nobody actually knows how much Satoshi made. Nobody knows how much Satoshi actually mined. Some people like to say that Satoshi owns 1 million Bitcoin because you can go back to some of the original wallets, and if you just add them up, which is sort of an arbitrary thing to do, it really is, because I'm sure Satoshi tried to mine a little bit and then like made a different address and then mined to that one and a different wallet and like updated the wallet, mined to that one to make sure that it worked. I would too, just to make sure that everything was going smoothly. Okay, what if I tried on this different wallet? What if I try like changing the address in this way? What if I try to like blah, blah, blah? What if I try to mine to two at once to a pool, essentially? You know, so I'm sure there was a lot of testing, right? I don't deny that. But 6 days, you gotta be kidding me. But anyway, yeah, so the 1.1 million Bitcoin or the 1 million Bitcoin in Satoshi, actually, there's no way to prove that those were Satoshi's wallets, right? Because Bitcoin wallets are just a big long key, and you can't, right? But you can go way back, and you can see that those wallets, there's like 50 mined to this one, and then to this one, and this one, and this one. So it's clearly like, okay, mine a block to this one, make a new address, mine a block to this one, and try it out. So it's clearly testing. But you still can't say, okay, no, Satoshi was clearly testing to this wallet. This is this person doing that. You can't do that. So you lose. You lose. Next one. Satoshi holds the most BTC. Actually not proven. Not proven at all. Actually not provable at all, because it's just a string of numbers for a public key. And yeah, they have 50, 50, 50, and some of them have more than that in the very first wallets, because it wasn't hard to mine mine a block when there's not that many people mining. Either it's just you or just a few people like just trying to disperse it right away. So it wasn't that hard. But again, you cannot prove that it was Satoshi that was mining that. And even if it was, it makes a lot of sense because, well, I mean, you got to test it, right? You got to test like new wallets and this thing and that and the other thing. Since neither are a proof of stake system, coin ownership gives no control over the ledger blockchain. Wow, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, what kind of argument is that, though? Most XRP is held by the founders. Since neither are a proof of stake system, coin ownership gives no control over the ledger blockchain. Right, like, we know that, but it is owned by most of the founders. Like, that's true. I mean, like, it is owned by most of the founders. I mean, like, people had a big problem with Zcash about that. Obviously, watch this wrecking. Watch this. I'm just like, woo, I'm like left, right. And then I do another left because he thinks I'm going right after that. Do another left. Boom, boom, boom. And I give him like 3 liver shots. And he starts going down. He starts moving his body like this, trying to defend, right? And I'm like, bam. And I hit him right in the kidneys, dude. Just this tiny little drop of blood comes out the tip. Anyway. So if coin ownership gives no control over the blockchain, and you have a problem, but okay, so fair enough. But if you have a problem with Satoshi holding most of the Bitcoin, then you have to have a problem with XRP holding most of the owners and founders. So my problem is you can't prove that Satoshi owns most of the Bitcoin, right? Because again, it's just like you cannot tie one man, especially since you don't know that man. We don't even know who he is or a group of people, to a random string, unless you have their name first and you've seen that string multiple times. That particular public key. So no, you lose. You lose bad. Another XRP goon, absolutely wasted. Wasted. I just need the GIF. I need the GIF to come on the screen, but I don't feel like editing that in. Anyway, moving on here to coin market cap, $239 billion market cap, 238. Still staying about the same. We had a bit of a sundering the other day there. We had a bit of a sell-off, which is not particularly unusual. We had that sell-off from like, what did we get to, like 94 or 9100? 9100 there, maybe on some exchanges 9200 or etc. candled, and then boom, oh my god, we sold off. So a nice whale there was just like, okay, I've manipulated it enough, and I've manipulated it enough. I see that's going back down, I see it's losing a little bit of steam here, and the whale goes bam, and it just sells it all off, and he walks away with his millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in profit, and then you all get wrecked. Welcome to crypto. But hopefully you guys can learn the fact that now you were going to want to wait for a little bit, wait till it hits that bottom again, buy in, and wait for the whales to pump that back up, because hey, you can ride the whales down. Trust me, you can ride those whales up too. Here's one of those whale purchases right here, way below where he or she sold at, and then just let that whale purchases ride. Let them ride, and then it's just gonna come down at some point. Another little whale purchase, and that whale didn't like where it was going. Boom! Oh my God, wrecked. Gotta love that crypto world. But that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, all that good stuff. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.